Hello and welcome to our channel. Spoilers ahead. Today we are going to review the mystery thriller movie Gone Girl, released in 2014. The film begins with the main character, Nick Dunne, Ben Affleck, going to the pub he co-owns with his sister Margot, Carrie Coon. He requests a drink, and she prepares one for each of them. It's Nick and Amy's 5th wedding anniversary, and he's expecting another scavenger expedition. We see some flashbacks in the following scene. Nick and Amy initially met at a New York party. He contributes to a men's magazine, and she creates personality quizzes for another. Amy, played by Rosamund Pike, makes a remark about his chin cleft. They go for a walk, and Nick urges Amy that he has to kiss her right now. Later, they are seen in bed, with her resting on her back. The tale then returns to the present day. Nick returns home and summons Amy. There is no response. He walks into the living room and notices a table that has been flipped over, with the glass top shattered on the floor. Nick contacts the cops. Officer Jim Gilpin and Detective Rhonda Boney arrive at his home, portrayed by Kim Dickens and Patrick Fugit. They looked around the area. Rhonda notices a small spatter of blood over the range in the kitchen. It is the year 2007. Nick and Amy attend her parents' party. Amy's father invites her to sit with some journalists so they can interview her. She does, and they interrogate her on trivial matters. Nick arrives disguised as a reporter. In preparation for a marriage proposal, he opens his notepad to expose an engagement ring. While the cops inspect Nick's house, he remains at Margot's. Officer Gilpin claims to have discovered it in the drawer of unmentionables in the upper bedroom. Detective Boney takes out a sealed packet titled Clue 1. When asked about this clue, Nick explains that Amy always plans a scavenger hunt for their anniversary. The first clue takes him and Rhonda to his office, where another envelope entitled Clue 2 lies on his desk. The second clue describes a brown house, but he informs the detective that he doesn't have any idea. Nick visits his father's blue-painted childhood house. He discovers the third clue, but only has time to put it into his back pocket and hide it from the cops. Amy's parents arrive from New York for a press conference to raise awareness about Amy's absence. Nick and Amy's parents encounter with Rhonda to identify potential suspects. The year is 2010 in the following scene. Amy informs Nick that her parents are experiencing financial difficulties and have requested her for her trust fund income, which is roughly $1 million. Subsequently, Nick began to lose interest in the marriage. She claims he's only interested in her for sex. Amy suggests that they have a kid together, but Nick becomes enraged. The plot shifts to the present day. A few evenings after Amy vanishes, Nick receives a text message that says, "I'm outside." Nick unlocks the back door. Andy, a young woman, walks in and begins kissing Nick. Nick has Andy sneak out the door first thing in the morning. Margot, on the other hand, emerges from the kitchen and fiercely criticizes her brother for lying to her. There is a ceremony for Amy at night. Nick stands by her parents, trying to appear more sympathetic and eager to find Amy, telling the gathering how much he adores his wife. Noelle goes by and approaches Nick, wondering if he was aware that Amy was 6 weeks pregnant. Margot interrogates Nick about the pregnancy news. He claims he had no idea she was pregnant. Rhonda and Jim return to Nick's house and explain that a light test revealed that someone had wiped up a large pool of blood in the kitchen. She also provides Nick with a list of recent pricey credit card transactions. Nick recalls the third clue from his pocket and attempts to decode it. Rhonda and Jim continue their inquiry. They return to Nick's father's house, where they discover Amy's diary, partially burned, stashed in the furnace in the basement. Meanwhile, Nick deduces that the third clue relates to a wood shed near Margot's house. He discovers a massive stack of credit card purchases kept there. The year is 2012 in the following scene. Amy is still alive, and she orchestrated her disappearance. Her arm is wrapped as she drives away from Missouri. She even pretended to be pregnant by befriending pregnant Noelle and convincing her that Nick was torturing her. Amy flushed her toilet, grabbed her urine, and used it to take the pregnancy test. In order to avoid being discovered, she trims and colors her hair. She starts eating a lot of junk food in order to gain weight. She goes by the name Nancy and hides out at a little resort. Greta is a woman she befriends. She postpones her death for another month because her plan is flawless. Nick carries the gift box inside and unlocks it to find the dolls. He and Margot conclude that Amy has implicated Nick for her disappearance. Nick travels to New York City in search of Tanner Bolt, a lawyer. He offers to assist Nick with his defense. He offers Nick Tommy's contact information so that he can inquire about anything. Tommy claims he and Amy dated for a time, but he could tell she was taking advantage of him. She persuaded him that she wanted hard sex. She devised a scene in which she marked her wrists and fastened neckties to the bed. She then went to the police station and alleged he raped her. In the following scene, Amy goes mini-golfing with Greta and her buddy Jeff at the resort. In excitement, she jumps and drops her zipper pack full of cash. Greta and Jeff are fully conscious. The next day, they force their way into her bedroom and begin hunting for the money. They discover the money hidden beneath her dress and steal it. Amy contacts the missing Amy hotline number and reports suspicious behavior near Margot's woodshed. Tanner, in the meantime, travels to Missouri to assist Nick and Margot in clearing Nick's name. Nick eventually schedules a television interview with Sharon Schieber to present his side of the story. At the same moment, Desi and Amy meet at a casino. Things take a bad turn when Rhonda and other officers arrive at Margot's house with a search warrant in response to the complaint regarding the woodshed. They discover all of the items on the credit card bill. Nick and Margot have both been arrested. Amy discovers at Desi's house that Desi has security cameras set up across the property. While he is at work, she blatantly stages what appears to be a horrific rape. Nick and Margot have been granted bond. When Desi returns home, Amy lures him, and the two of them enter the bedroom. Amy requests that it be more difficult. Amy slices his throat with a box cutter. In the next scene, Nick glances out his window over a month after Amy's abduction and sees Amy pulling up, still soaked in blood. As she gets closer to him and collapses in his arms, the reporters and neighbors are astounded. Amy is examined by a room full of cops at the hospital and tells a false story about how Desi abducted and raped her before she accomplished her heroic escape. Amy admits in the shower with Nick afterwards that she framed Desi and murdered him in order to get back to Nick. After 7 weeks, Nick and Amy make their maiden public appearance as a joyfully reunited couple at the volunteer center. They're even planning an interview with Ellen Abbott at their house. While they are getting dressed, Amy presents Nick with a pregnancy test. It's a positive indication. Nick reluctantly accompanies Amy to the interview. During the conversation, Amy nudges Nick, and he claims they're going to be parents. At which point Ellen bursts out laughing and hugs Amy. On the flip side, Margot eventually learns about the pregnancy and weeps for her brother. The movie ends here. I hope you enjoyed the recap. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Thank you.